mic should work pretty good at this distance. Okay, Jim, just give me a little sense of what's going on here in Chile with the Lutheran Church.
The Lutheran Church of Chile has right now 5 active pastors, which is about as many pastors as some of the largest congregations have in the States, in the whole country. And we have 2 long-established congregations and about 5 mission points that we're working on developing congregations in each of those places. And our work is concentrated in the center part of the country, in 3 different regions. Chile has regions instead of states, so we're in 3 of the states or the regions. So there's the Santiago region, metropolitan region, the region called Maule, which includes the cities of Talca and Constitucion, and then the 5th region, which is Region 5, where we have work in the cities of Valparaíso, Viña del Mar, and Quilpué. So in each of those areas, we're trying to dedicate our resources to planting new churches. That's been the focus in the last probably 10 years, 8 to 10 years. The focus has been on planting new churches and raising up new believers.
As I understand it, that last year was the first time a group from the U.S. came. Is that fair to say? And then why? Well, what do you want from us? What do you think? I mean, what do you expect from folks who in limited numbers might come down and help?
Yeah, there's the earthquake and tsunami in 2010 highlighted the need to join hands with people from other countries, and volunteer groups came from Argentina to help with that, but not from the States. But that was a good enough experience to where the pastors were encouraged here to try to host a volunteer team from the United States. And we talked about it and discussed it among ourselves. And the focus is really, when a group can come, they should join in with what we're doing and not be, so we're not creating additional work beyond the scope of what we're already doing.
Right.
Because then when the group leaves, it would be unsustainable. So in terms of the work focus, the groups that come join us in what we already have going. But there's another dimension to a group, and I think when we're talking with the United States, the focus is usually on, well, what will we do if we go to Chile? And in Latin America, the focus isn't necessarily on what you do. The focus is on who is with you, who's your friend, who's, as they say in Spanish, who's accompanying you on the journey. And so it's one thing to have long distance friends that you can correspond with or Skype with or be on the phone with, but you really don't feel that you're working together, and you really don't feel that you have formed a team unless you actually have worked shoulder to shoulder and hand in hand and stood with the people who are supporting you, or who you are supporting, because I think the support goes in both directions.
Yeah, and so what I was thinking was, it's nice if there can be some return visits, because I see the friendships that begin to develop, and those friendships strengthen both sides of the coin here.
Yeah, we're really looking to develop relationships that last longer than just the time of the visit. So what we're trying to build is a relationship that can last for years, or for a lifetime, for however long that may be. And so it's not just us getting to know the team members, it's the team members getting to know our church and our community, and fellowshipping together, knowing people by name, so that when I say Bob or when I say Mike or something like that, people say, oh, how are they doing? And how is their wife? And how are their kids? And what about that health problem? Did they overcome that? And so there's a real, genuine knowing that takes place.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Let me stop.
Did you want to?
Let's talk about sort of the philosophy of mission here in terms of working with another group and the friendships that can develop and how all that can, back up just a little bit, how that can benefit both sides.
Yeah. As we think about teams, we thought about it a lot, how we would incorporate teams. And there is, of course, the element of what you're going to do. And our position, and the position of the pastors here, was that we've already got enough work to do. We don't need to be generating work for a team that's going to create more things that we need to do in the future.
Right.
So the teams that come down join us in what we're doing. They join us in our mission and help us to accomplish the goals that we've already started on.
I like the concept of building friendship and folks talking about each side, focusing about how their friends are in Chile or how their friends are in the United States. You kind of talk
Right,
about that.
yeah. And the other side of it is really to develop the relationship side. Because the relationship started, I think, with some occasional visits of people from, I think it was Chile visiting pretty much in the United States. And what we're trying to do with the teams is have relationships that go in both directions. So that the people who come down to Chile, we get to know them not just as someone at the other end of a phone call or an email, but we get to know them personally. We get to know about their family and kind of where they've been, their history and their vocations. And they get to know about us as well. And so then later on, and not just us, but they get to know the members here of the church and the other people that we're working with. You get to know our community, our Lutheran community. And so then later on, I could say, oh, I heard from Bob, or I heard from Mike, or from Gail. And the members immediately say, oh, how are they doing? And then how is their family, and how is the daughter or the son, and whatever happened with that health problem, or did they finally retire, or whatever it was, that shows that there's been a real relationship built. I think that kind of a tendency that I've seen in the States is for teams to say, you know, for the amount of money that it costs us to go there, we could send the money and they could do a lot more good with that money than if we came. But that's not really true. Just like Skype and email doesn't replace face-to-face conversation, money is no substitute for visiting and building relationships and getting to know people on that personal level.
One other thing while I got you here, and then we'll quit. And it's, talk to me about the need for Christ in people's lives here without, you know, as you see it. What's happening here?
Yeah. Chile is a country, of course, that's traditionally Roman Catholic. But you can see the depth of spirituality by visiting any Catholic church during the regular hours of service. They may have a cathedral built for 650 people sitting in the first 2 or 3 rows. The devout Catholics aren't the target of our evangelism effort. We're looking for those really unaffiliated people who what we would say are culturally Roman Catholic. Because they're born in Chile, they consider themselves to be Roman Catholic, but have never gotten to know Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. And I'm not sure what the percentage is, but it has to be in excess of 70% of the country would not be committed Christians in any way, shape, or form. When you don't have Christ in your life, you've got all kinds of problems. You have marriage problems, you have maybe problems in the household, maybe problems holding a job, anger management issues, and all kinds of other things that can come up. So when Christ comes into somebody's life, they really experience the full transformation that brings.
Good. We're having